Hey, yo, Chi-Town, listen up. You are now listening to the best sports talk show in the Windy City. Combs and Fitz. Windy City Sports Talk. From the birds to the lake, there ain't no mistake. The Combs and Fitz gonna have the greatest of the hot takes.
Okay.
So hop on the board and join the bandwagon.
Ooh. They
gonna keep your feet moving and sometimes how you laughing.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Come on through with the sports talk is what you wish. The West know what's up and don't miss. Fitz gibberish.
I can't do
It
that.
don't matter what team you playing, but what's gonna burn that flame. So put your team on the map. Guess what? We gonna do the same. From Comiskey to Wrigley.
What?
From Soldier to UC.
Okay.
Windy City Sports is where you need to be. But there is no furthermore. You get the jits. So let's get the rest for Combs and Fitz.
And what is going on, Windy City Sports Talk fans? It's your boy Brandon Combs and my guy Ryan Fitzgibbons. Fitzy, what's going on, man?
Lots of action. What we used to say on the poker tables, Combs, this past week. We got drafts. We got our team still kind of suck, I guess. And something I guess happened politically, but I guess if that's what you call it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a weird time.
Apparently, Bronny James tried taking out the president. Went 1 for 8 on the shots.
Yeah. Or like any White Sox hitter.
Yeah. It's crazy, but we got lots of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about, baseball's All-Star game tonight. We got the Home Run Derby tonight, All-Star game tomorrow. Can't wait for the Home Run Derby, man. I love the Home Run Derby. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the AFC South tonight. We're going to talk about Jim Edmonds and his get off my lawn as Chris Morrell is rounding the bases.
I'm so fucking sick of this shit.
And we're going to do a little Fitz gibberish tonight. John Peoples chimes in, says Shaq working with him on free throws. He said somebody said that today. They said the left needed their John Wilkes Booth, and instead they got Shaq on the free throw line.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, just a weird scene in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. It's people are dumb. I mean, look, regardless, I don't care what side you're on, whether you're left, whether you're right, whether you're in the middle. You tried to end somebody's life, and for that, you deserve stupid games, get stupid prizes. And so he got what he got, and that's what he gets. I mean, it is what it is. I don't care what side of it you're on. It's dumb.
You're an idiot.
I do like all the memes that have come out. The internet is still undefeated, by the way.
Oh yeah, I mean,
the memes are insane.
It's never too soon for the internet.
Yeah.
It's never too soon for the internet.
And I got John Peebles. It's all part of the cover up. I've heard this one.
Yep.
But we're a sports talk show, so we're gonna get past all that crap, and we're gonna talk some sports. Look, All-Star game tonight. There is an 8-man field. I cannot confirm nor deny whether or not I have money on half of them.
Shocker. Shocker.
What?
Like,
you don't have any money on the Home Run Derby?
No, I don't have any money on the Home Run Derby. I also don't have any money on, whoever's playing in AAA this weekend either. I have no money on, the high school championships for, South Suburban Chicago High either. I don't have any money on Rocky 10 whenever that comes out. Rocky's probably going to win, by the way.
First of all, I work for a sports betting network. So yes, I've placed some sports bets today. And no, it's not the most degenerate thing that has been bet today. And we can talk about that later on. But there are some people on the network that have some money riding on some NBA Summer League games tonight.
Oh my God. That cannot be true. Oh my.
It's definitely true.
I bet on Russian darts. Don't judge me. Wow.
I mean,
before or after you fell asleep in the bathtub? What's
this
up,
is
Mark?
this is why I don't believe. So right now, I never believe what the numbers say, because right now our StreamYard account said we had 2 people watching, but we've had 3 people at least chiming in.
Yeah, it's never.
So the numbers are never right. What's going on, Mark? How we doing, Mark?
You know what we pay a month to put the show on. The software cannot possibly be good. It's like people are like, my cable went out. Like my wife will scream, the cable goes out once like every 6 months. It's like, we don't pay. It's not like we have a data center in the goddamn closet over there that's like, playing cable for us. We're not spending $10,000 a month on this thing. You're spending $200. They have like 50 million Americans, accessing Xfinity. It's gonna go off. It was the bathtub fever dream. Yeah, maybe you never bet on Russian darts.
Yeah, look, here's the thing. There are some bets that I have made that I'm not proud of. They may involve 3 letters that start with KBO. There's definitely been some bets that I have placed that, most people don't bet on, but that's the fun of sports gambling, man. It's not, and I'm not out here betting $100. I mean, they're like $2 here, $2 there. Yeah. I have $5 on Gunnar Henderson to win the whole damn thing, because his odds were really, really good. It was like, I think it was 6-1 when I bet him. And then I put $2 down on other guys that I think could win the home run derby as well, so that at least then I make some more money in the process.
I probably would have bet Robert last year, which wouldn't have been a bad bet. He did okay last year. Kind of got tired after a while, but which is a theme for the Sox.
Yeah, no, Luis.
But I mean, I probably would have bet him last year if I had the chance.
You taking a look at the field?
I just a cursory look, not as much. I didn't even know Gunnar was in it, to tell you the truth. I probably saw his name and glazed over it, but
so the odds-on favorite to win it is Pete Alonso.
Well, yeah,
Pete Alonso's won it twice already.
2, yeah, he's won a couple.
And so he's the odds-on favorite to win it. Then right behind Pete Alonso is Adolis Garcia from the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, won last year, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, won last year.
And then Teoscar Hernandez from the Dodgers, Jose Ramirez of the Guardians, which I know you love him. Marcelo Ozuna is also another favorite to win it. Marcelo Ozuna. Bobby Witt Jr., Alec Boehm, and Gunnar Henderson. So out of all of those players, I already told you I put the money down. I'm rooting for Gunnar Henderson. I think he has a real chance to win this thing too. His bat speed is ridiculous.
Over the name of fucking Gunnar? Because it's the home run derby. It's not the fucking Super Bowl.
Right.
Come on, Jeremiah. Like, it's not. It's just the home run derby.
His name is still Gunnar.
His name is Gunnar. That's a baseball name if I ever heard one. Burger's a good baseball name.
Yeah.
That's why the Sox traded him.
At 6-1 where I got him for the odds. I mean, it's pretty damn good for a guy who has, I think he has the third, he's only behind, I believe it's Aaron Judge and Juan Soto are the only 2 with bat speeds higher than him this year. I believe. I know I'm pretty sure he's third. So I like the way that he pans up for Globe Life Field. But the other one is Marcelo Ozuna, who, I mean, he can pull the ball. He can hit to the opposite field. He can play both sides of the field, and he hits bombs, man. So Marcelo Ozuna, I think, has a real chance to win this one. I feel like we're all going to be let down, and it's just going to be Pete Alonso again. I do. I just feel like, because don't you feel like that's a disappointment if it's Pete Alonso again?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty tough if it's Pete Alonso again. I mean, that's 3 times in the last 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, the last person to do that, I believe, Ken Griffey Jr. has won it 3 times, right? He's the only one that's won it 3 times.
I think he is, if memory serves.
And Pete Alonso's hit more home runs in a home run derby than anybody. Nobody's hit more the number of home runs in home run derby play than Pete Alonso.
Jesus, you're like a home run derby historian.
I'm a baseball nerd. What do you want from me?
Try to get the last left tackle of the Bears to be in the Pro Bowl. We can't squeeze that out of you. But Pete Alonso,
Jeremiah Murray said Ozuna is going to hit the ball like his wife overcooked the chicken again.
Oh my God.
That's so bad. So bad. Doubting Thomas was reported to bet on China in the Little League World Series against USA in 2000.
Jesus.
There's no way. I mean, she's got to be just pulling our leg.
I don't know about it. He's a degenerate too.
Bet on Little League Baseball. There's no bets for Little League Baseball. And if they're sure it's illegal. Been through a bookie. I'm not going to say it wasn't or it was. Could have been through a bookie. Are you there? Did I lose you? Did Walmart cut off your Wi-Fi again? God damn it. Oh, well. All right. So we're going to try to get Fitz back. And once he's back, maybe he will be able to catch up with us. Mark Giacomo saying, I'm really trying to keep up on streaming you guys. And man, ROA, we appreciate you, Mark. We appreciate you for everything that you do. We will also be sharing a lot of your content. And when we do the AFC West, I believe next week, maybe we can have you on. The Denver Broncos aficionado, Mark DiGiacomo Jr. Does a great job over on NFL Experts. Are you there again, Fitz, or did we lose you again? Oh, he came back and then he left again. Okay. All right. We do have some strong storms moving throughout the area, so maybe it's playing hectic on his internet right now, but I'm going to go through with you guys. So, look, we're going to talk. Are you really back this time?
I did that on purpose. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Who knows? Like I said, we don't have a data center here. Okay. So we don't have a data center here. There's no, maybe it was aliens. Could have been aliens.
Or maybe it's because you live in Indiana.
Oh, here we go. We lost the entire show because your damn Wi-Fi won.
You live in
I didn't even know what I was doing. We were like 3 weeks into the show.
We live in Indiana where they have liquor stores next to daycare centers and cheap Wi-Fi.
Hey, man. It's hard having a kid, as you know. It is tough having a kid. Every once in a while, you need a drink.
It's true.
Every once in a while. We'll just stick to that.
Every once in a while, as in every time you pick them up from daycare. Right before you go get them from daycare, you're like, fuck, this is what I got to do. Okay, let me go get a drink. That's just how it goes.
Or after you drop them off.
Yeah. At 8 o'clock in the morning, you just right afterwards, you just go straight to the bar and right next door, have a couple of drinks.
God, I haven't.
Then you wave at them through the window. Then you wave at them through a window as you're leaving. Get them all riled up again.
Yes.
Jeremiah Murray says, I don't think his internet froze. I think his brain just broke.
Yeah, that's probably it.
It's probably
Dad, you really ought to drink more.
So, who are you taking in this home run derby? Who's your pick? This time I know you're messing with me though because the lights are flickering. He can't stay like this forever. Maybe he's not messing with me. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. We're just gonna look. Maybe he needs to reset. Maybe he's got to do something, have him restart his computer, whatever the case is, then he'll come back in. In the meantime, have you guys in the chat, Jeremiah, Mark, Megan TV, John Peebles, did you guys see what happened yesterday with the Cubs game? Did you guys see or hear the take of Jim Edmonds yesterday? Because his take was insanely off base, and I want to bring you guys to that. So let me see if I can do this as a one-man show here. Here we go. Let me bring it up right here. So we're gonna play this for you guys. Let's take a listen to what Jim Edmonds had to say on Chris Morel's second home run.
So the Cubs exacting some revenge, and they're going to have back-to-back homers again. Morel hits one deep into the seats. He's got a 2-homer game.
Whoa, mama, this had me cracking up. We've got a lot.
Okay, so yeah, that's the wrong clip. Oh my word. All right, let's try this again.
This kid's celebration is a joke. I don't mind saying it at all. I've never seen anything like it. I just don't get it. You're a 229 hitter in the big leagues, and you're running around like you're Barry Bonds.
So you're a 229 hitter, and you're running around like you're Barry Bonds. And this is what Jim Edmonds has to say. And look, I'm with you, Jeremiah. It's bad because I really value Jim Edmonds' opinion. Look, Jim Edmonds, when all of the Hall of Fame talk was going on this past season, when it was Andrew Jones and it was Torrey Hunter, and people were debating whether or not those two players belonged in the Hall of Fame, I sat right here on Combs and Fitz, and I told you guys that if Jim Edmonds is not in the Hall of Fame, then them two do not belong in the Hall of Fame, because Jim Edmonds put up better offensive numbers than those two, minus the home runs. And he was every bit the defender that those two were, if not better. And one of my favorite baseball memories of all time was the Willie Mays catch diving up Tow's Hill made by Jim Edmonds.
Yeah.
And so I agree with you. It's bad because I value his opinion. And it's bad because Jim Edmonds played with a lot of flair. If you remember, Jim Edmonds played with a ton of flair. So for him to talk, oh, well, you're a 229. Everybody in the league is a 229 hitter right
now. We talked about it like a month ago. Pitching's just taken over. I mean, just this, the way they can go in those pitch labs, get their spin rate up. Every reliever that comes out now is 100 miles an hour. It was nuts when somebody threw 100 miles an hour. I remember, and Joel Zumaya threw 100 miles an hour for the Detroit Tigers and was like unbelievable. Sure, he got shelled, but it was unbelievable. Now everybody does, even starters do. It's insane. And there's got to be, I mean, it's a cyclical game, so it'll probably come back. But yeah, I mean, not just the White Sox are all betting 230, which you got some White Sox betting 110, but
well, no, but the average in the league now is 250. That's what the league average is now for hitters, 250. When back in 1999, I looked it up before, and the league average in 1999 was 270.
Yeah, when the Sox won the World Series in 2005, and I only know this because I'm a White Sox fan, they were 259, and they were middle of the road in hitting average. They had a lot of home runs that year. That's basically what pushed them through. They were at a 259 average that year, and that was kind of middle of the road. That's what they were saying going into the playoffs that year. But yeah, a guy like Jim Edmonds, I mean, don't take it too much. I mean, he is a baseball player, though, and
it just sounds very old white guy-ish.
It's insane because every pitcher is like, I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Screaming in their hats and jumping up and down and kicking the rosin bag and running around. And a batter that just hit a home run, the hardest thing to do in sports. I mean, every few years they go around and they, take votes from every different sport. And it's usually always the hardest thing in sports to do is to hit a baseball. I had Japan. He just doesn't stop. What is his moniker now? I don't even know.
Doubting Thomas. Why do I not? You probably did. You also probably bet Japan the day after they bombed Pearl Harbor. Jack Wagon
for that. But I mean, oh my God, if he had an app back then, I could only imagine he would end up in a Chinese prison.
Megan TV says if he didn't flip his bat, then shut the fuck up. Well, he did flip his bat. He did flip his, but the Cubs thing nowadays, yeah, the new thing for the Cubs, they've changed their celebration because they were struggling. So because they were struggling, then they started winning. What happened was the day that they started winning again, they changed their celebration every time they got a hit. So instead of doing, I believe they were doing like the motorcycle rev up, now they're doing a dab. And since then, they've been winning. So he did a dab rounding first. He did it again rounding second, and then again rounding third. And Jim Edmonds took exception to that. And it just sounds like you're a get off my lawn guy. Like you are that old cranky white man that doesn't want people walking on his lawn because he thinks it's going to ruin the lawn.
Freaking Clint Eastwood. Yeah, I mean it. Like what the best baseball I've seen, and I've said this before on the show the last year and a half, is the what was it when they did the World Baseball Classic?
Yeah.
When they did the World Baseball Classic a couple of years ago, it was great baseball. It ended with Ohtani striking out Trout, and every time they hit a home run, everybody went insane, and it was so much fun. It was so competitive. People got into it. Even some of the baseball players that probably were like just gearing up for the season really got into it. It was a lot of fun.
And what's the one clip from the World Baseball Classic that you see over and over and over again on all baseball platforms is the one when Yadier Molina throws the ball down to second to get a runner, and Javier Baez is catching the ball, not even looking at the runner while placing the tag and pointing back at Javier Molina. Yadier Molina.
Or any home run.
Time. So let the kids freaking sell it. It's a new game today. Like, is Jim Edmonds also out there being like, "Oh, you shouldn't celebrate home runs"? Oh God, now I'm doing it. Kyle Schwarber, you shouldn't celebrate your 48th home run, Kyle Schwarber. You're a 180 hitter.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like what? Like, it's just. It rubbed me the wrong way with Jim Edmonds, and I felt the same way Jeremiah did about it. I was like, man, I'm disappointed in what you're doing. I'm disappointed with your take.
Were you more happy on how the Cubs finished up before the All-Star break, or you're more pissed that the Sox got swept by the Pirates?
It's one of the White Sox.
With the Cubs, we're 22 minutes in. We might as well talk sports, even though I left in a few minutes there.
The Cubs have to be buyers. They have to be buyers, and I've said it before. I think they should be buyers at the same time of selling. And maybe it's not Mason Miller, like I said, some legitimate closer that is up for grabs. Maybe you do trade Ian Happ to go and get him. Maybe you do have to trade a couple of prospects to go and get him. Maybe you have to, because you have to think of the future. You're not going to win this year. Even if the Cubs do back into a wild card spot, you're not going to the World Series. You're not winning the World Series. You're not better than Philly. You're not better than the Braves. You're not better than the Dodgers. You're not winning a 7-game series against any of those teams. You might get lucky and win a 5-game series against one of those teams, because I think your starting rotation is good enough to do that. And I think your offense is good enough to carry you through that. But you're not winning a 7-game series against any of those teams. And so for me, I think that you're only 3.5 out of the wild card right now. I know there's like 4 teams in front of you, but there's like 9 teams that are 3.5 games out of the wild. None of those teams are going to be sellers.
It's insane.
They're all going to buy at some point, but how many pieces are going to be available to buy because all these teams are buyers?
Yeah, there's no one selling. And another thing is, I look at the St. Louis Cardinals, who are an older team. They're kind of different in their trajectory as the Cubs are, but you look at them and where are they really going? I mean, I don't know. You have to make a bold decision here. I think either way. I don't think you can do the political thing and just be like, oh, yeah, we're buying and we're selling a little bit here. I don't know if you could do that. I think you either buy big time or you sell big time. I mean, because do you want to be in the same position next year? Because you were in the same position last year. And even if you made it last year, let's say you got that 6th spot from the Marlins, what are you doing with that? And look at St. Louis. Let's say they get the 6th spot. I don't think they're going to say, I think they're in the 5th spot or whatever total ranking after all the division winners. I don't think the Cardinals are going to be that good. I mean, they'd probably be better in selling. I mean, sometimes winning, sometimes going, 80, winning 84 games, 85 games isn't exactly a good thing. Is what I'm trying to say. And the Cubs right now, they're far enough behind where I don't know. I don't know if it looks better at selling. Right now, I feel like they should sell.
We look at it that way, but you know what's ruined that was not only the 2019 Nationals, but even the Arizona Diamondbacks of last year. Snuck into the playoffs, the last playoff spot, the last wildcard team. They got hot and they went to the World Series.
They weren't the last spot. The Marlins were. Diamondbacks were just ahead of the Marlins. Remember the Marlins squeaked in? Look it up. Look it up. Don't look at me like that.
All right. So, but they didn't win their division.
Like that, or I will Tommy Pham your ass.
Because I'm prepared to fuck somebody up. So,
first of all, you are not Tommy Pham.
I still think I can beat him up.
You're maybe you could beat Tommy Pham up, but you're not tough enough to touch me.
Oh, here we go. Hey, he trains in the off season. So.
It's true. It's true.
But anyway, but you're right. The Diamondbacks, even at that second from last slot, was still
okay. So I looked it up. The Diamondbacks were the last wild card. I was right.
Oh, wasn't the Marlins? The Marlins.
They had the same exact record, but the Marlins got the second. The Marlins got the second wild card spot. Diamondbacks had the last.
All right, take a bow.
I don't need to take a bow. When I'm talking with you, it's intended that I'm correct.
Wrong before. You thought the Braves won the freaking. You thought the Braves won the division last year by like 2 games. They won by 9. So stop.
No, I knew the Braves won by. What are you talking about? The Braves won. The Braves won because the Phillies were hurt. That's what I said. I didn't say anything about them not winning.
I'm going back and getting the tape this time. I'm getting the tape this time.
Go ahead, go get the tape.
I'm gonna go get the tape.
Hey, go get the tape while you're there, because I guarantee you, I guarantee you that same tape will have the sound where I picked all 4 of the finalists in the LCS, and you scoffed at me.
I'm going back for the tape.
And you scoffed at me for picking the Rangers to win the World Series.
You took the White Sox to win the division. Granted, I took the Cubs to win the NL Central. That didn't work out.
Yeah, no.
But
I mean, look, there's lots of things. Do you have a problem with Paul Skeens starting the All-Star game?
No problem at all. The guy's terrific. He had nothing but good things to say about Garrett Crochet over the weekend. And Garrett Crochet only pitching 2 innings. I know he's got the All-Star break and they want to keep him fresh, but they're trading him. I mean,
does it matter to you that Paul Skeens has, like 7 less starts than his teammates that are on the All-Star team?
No, it doesn't. I mean, what he's doing is like historic. I want to see good players, the best players start the game. I think too many years in a row, like Chris Sale was the best pitcher in the AL and they didn't have him start until like his 3rd All-Star game. It was ridiculous.
I'm with you. I
think, I want to see the best players play the best players. I mean, until his arm falls off, I mean, he's got to have Tom Johnson.
We complain all the time about baseball not being able to market. And this was actually a good marketing thing for baseball to do. So I'm not going to complain about them putting Paul Skeens into the All-Star game, but I will tell you that now that baseball has done it, baseball will go overboard. If Paul Skeens is this much and he attracts this much attention and the viewership is up tomorrow night, if Paul Skeens strikes out the side, he is the MVP of the All-Star game.
Yeah,
that's where I'm saying.
Can he celebrate? And when he gets the strikeout, is he allowed to celebrate?
Not if Jim Edmonds is on the call.
Jim Edmonds is on the call, and that's another thing with the marketing of the game. You watch some of these games in the Dominican Republic. It's ridiculous. It's a party. Why not?
Yeah, I mean,
talk about marketing the game. But
speaking of partying and speaking of the World Baseball Classic, soccer fans are nuts.
You can say that.
Did you see why the game was delayed yesterday for the Copa America final?
I saw part of it because you posted it today.
45 minutes of delay, just for warm-ups. 45-minute delay. It was actually, I believe, it came out to like a 2-hour delay between the start of the game and when it was supposed to start, because fans rushed without tickets, rushed the gates and stormed in to get into the stadium. And then they go and they show a video of fans climbing into the ductwork of the stadium to crawl through the ductwork into the stadium,
like
to try to get in.
Like John McClane.
Yes, exactly like John McClane. What happens if you get stuck?
What if Hans Gruber gets you and blows your head off? Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, if you get stuck in some of that ductwork, good luck. Especially if your fans like I don't know behind you.
I'm like I don't. Yeah, what if somebody's crawling through it and it's so hot in there that they freaking pass out? What are you going to do? You can't back out. Like I'm just saying, like there is no way. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So then, but not only that, I'm watching.
Soccer's sort of like football, where you don't really know what's going on the whole time.
Right.
Like in football, like some vantage points of football, you don't know. Oh, did he lose 3 yards or did he gain 17? I don't know.
Dude, I'm going to tell you, this is the first soccer match that I've watched in probably 25 years. And because of that, I'm now a fan. Because the fans are so nuts, I need to see this more.
WNBA thing where you're into soccer for 3 weeks.
I kind of liked how nuts the fans are. I mean, I also like the fact that I hit my parlay on both of the championship games. But still, I became a fan of soccer watching those videos. The fans are so nuts. I'm like, these are my people.
People have died.
Yes.
People have died. Like, have been killed over soccer.
Dude, people have died at Raider Niner games in the bathroom after getting kicked in the freaking face.
Yeah, but that was for crack. That was really over the game. I mean, this is over the
game. He said that was for crack. Look, it's the passion that soccer fans have is amazing, and the atmosphere of that stadium the entire time, the fans chanting throughout the whole thing, it was awesome. It was like how you explained the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah,
when home runs were, I mean, it was just like that. And I enjoyed it even through the damn, there was tornado sirens going off over here. There were all sorts of things. They kept breaking away from the damn game and going split screen with tornado warnings and stuff like that. And so I'm like, damn, could they go to extra time, tied at 0. They go to extra time. They're in overtime.
You got to watch Ted Lasso, by the way.
Another tornado siren goes off and they break back to Fox News and they go full screen with the tornado warning in overtime.
Oh my God.
Look, I was so happy that obviously people were safe. No tornadoes ever touched down. Which never happens in Chicago. We get these stupid tornado warnings, and a tornado hasn't touched down over here in like 80 years. But they break back from that. They finally go back to the game, and maybe 2 minutes after they break back to the game-winning goal gets scored. So imagine had the game-winning goal got scored while they were away at the tornado. Do you know? But those fans that were in the stadium would have went to Fox News and would have killed somebody.
Yeah. I mean, oh my God. There was a football game a long time where all of a sudden, like the football game, they messed up on the TV. I think it's called like the Heidi game, and like it used to be a book, and I guess made for television movie just started like at the end. Like the game went a little over, and they just.
Oh God, he froze again. Like mid-sentence. So that time, now he's not faking, because now he's like mid-sentence and he's frozen. But at any rate, Jeremiah Murray says, I refuse to buy another streaming service, although I caved on Peacock to watch Yellowstone. I keep hearing about Yellowstone. Is Yellowstone good? I have to check that out. But no, the soccer fans, they were nuts, and they got me excited to watch soccer. So I'm going to watch more soccer now. Again, it's also fun to bet on. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to, once we get Fitzy back, we're going to try a Fitz jibber. Oh, look. Hey, guy. Storms rolling through over there.
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
There's supposed to be some more strong storms rolling through, even stronger than what. Did you guys get any of those storms last night?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, tonight's supposed to be worse. The storms rolling through tonight are supposed to be bad.
Maybe it is Indiana.
So it's got to be Indiana. It's all the corn.
There's more than corn in Indiana. God damn it.
There's children in the corn.
That was a creepy fucking movie.
That was a creepy fucking movie, and you live there.
Hey, come on now.
Oh God, I just picture your house in the middle of a cornfield, even though I know it's on a residential block
of a liquor store.
That's why the children ended up in the corn. They left the daycare, stopped at the liquor store, and went to go hang out. Oh my God.
Possibly.
So yeah, no, I'm a fan of soccer, man. I actually enjoyed the game last night. Michelle, I'm laying in bed watching the game. Michelle comes over, she's like, "Are you watching soccer?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why?"
Why?
I said, "Look, I work at a radio station now. They're talking soccer all day long. I need to know what's going on." I definitely did not tell her I had money on the game. But I won, so it's okay.
I mean, is she like going into your betting app when you're not looking at it? I mean, what's happening?
No, there's no way.
Could you bet on a draft? I don't think you could bet on a draft. Did you bet on the Cubs draft yesterday? When they got a third baseman. Sox got another pitcher.
Crap. I forget she watches.
Unbelievable. This part though, she can't watch the whole thing.
Hey,
eventually she's got to be like.
I've been to your house before. You got a couple couches. I'll be all right.
You could sleep down here. Sleep downstairs.
Except I have to walk there now. So
you can bet on the draft. Thanks, Jeremiah.
Oh, awesome. You can bet on the draft. She's a silent watcher.
Yeah, the Sox get a lefty pitcher as if they needed another pitcher. I mean,
what
last
the hell?
Thursday, the entire farm system had one run. And they got a pitcher.
How about the Cubs in the first round drafting another fucking third baseman?
Well, I mean, they kind of need a third baseman.
They have one that they drafted last year in the first round.
Oh, I forgot about that.
This is what the Cubs keep doing. They keep getting guys in the same positions that they've already got guys.
Well, they like to bring in guys and be like, oh, yeah, you can play third and then left field and then right field, but you're not really good at any of those positions. And
it's so bad. So bad. I didn't like the White Sox draft pick. I did like the Cubs draft pick, but I don't understand it. Like the kid that they picked was good. I just don't get it.
Yeah,
I definitely don't get the Sox.
I don't get it. At all. Well, the only way I get it is they're going to use other teams to be their scouting for position players. They're just going to load up on all the scouting they can do for pitching. They do kind of create good pitching talent sometimes, kind of. I mean, I know Dylan Cease was from the Cubs, but he was only in Double-A when they got him and became close to a Cy Young pitcher. Look what Garrett Crochet's doing. I mean,
here's what makes sense with the Sox draft pick. They're going to continue to just keep losing. Until Jerry Reinsdorf sells or Jerry Reinsdorf dies. One of the two is going to happen. And I think the one has to happen in order for the other to happen. So,
yeah, it's just like, don't you know that the game is past?
Oh, God, here we go again. Jeremiah says Sox have 7 catchers and 14 designated hitters. And that's just on the active roster. That is so true, Jeremiah Murray. That is absolutely positively true. So the Sox, look, their pitcher, and they're trading a left-handed pitcher this year. So I really don't know what the hell is going on. Maybe did you buy your internet from Jerry Reinsdorf?
I don't know what the hell is happening.
Did he draft your internet?
Maybe my wife doesn't like the show and she's just unplugging and plugging in the router. Or plugging them into different things. And she's like, this will end the show.
She's like,
it'll be good for everybody.
She's like, oh, Brandon works at a radio station and is trying to get eyes on your stuff here. This thing might go somewhere and you guys might be gone more, doing more of this and getting paid for it. Watch this.
But anyway, before I was interrupted, Everybody said they should get.
Nobody interrupted you except for your internet.
Here we go. I'll move to Chicago. I'll move right next door to you.
Here's the worst part. Your daytime job. What do you do? Your sales,
I sell
right?
the internet. I sell the internet.
You sell the internet.
That's basically what I sell.
Okay.
Yeah, I sell basically the internet. I sell it's the number one networking equipment in the world, and it's not even really that close.
So you sell the internet. Is it the same internet you're using?
Well, I don't sell the internet connection. I sell what happens after you get the internet. So I'm not selling like Comcast. I'm selling once the internet comes in, the actual stuff that gets the internet to you. And it's not coming to me right now.
Wait,
so
what?
Let's see if we get through Fitz gibberish. So like the an access point, like when you go into like a museum and you need to, look up whatever, that's the equipment that I sell brings that to you.
You should buy one of those things that you sell.
I do have one actually.
Oh, it's not helping you right
Here
now.
we are. Come on. I can't control everything. I need a wired line in here.
Are you ready for Fitz gibberish? If we can get through without you stalling and I have to take over, because I have no clue what you have written down. So I'm just gonna make shit up as I go.
Yes, it's Fitz gibberish. Quit your whining. It's a diatribe. It's a conspiracy theory, and yes, it's an island in the middle of unapologetic and sometimes inaccurate sports talk. When your internet goes out, yeah, you're gonna have inaccurate sports talk, aren't you? Thank you, sir. Take Sloth down, please. Anyway, my wife laughing at me as she tears out the internet connection. All right.
That's what's inside that paper towel.
And a lot of hot wings. Well, Trevor Lawrence, everybody, looks like a Captain America mask you got from Party City in the middle of summer that melted on top of a Bob Hope mask in the back of an old Chevy Citation. Yes, I said it.
Jesus.
Anyway, Andrew Brandt of Sports Illustrated, whose picture, I can get to it, looks like this. Sort of like a computer animation from an old sim game. So I can only assume he's an artificial intelligence bot sent from the future to hold water for Trevor Lawrence, who has had SI and the greater football world hold so much water for him they resemble a 500-pound postmenopausal woman with a drinking problem, or more specifically, Rosie O'Donnell's goiter. Anyway, back to Andrew Bryant, the writer robot from SI, who after the release of Lawrence's contract, which ties him with Joe Burrow for an annual salary of $55 million a year, the biggest salary or yearly salary in football.
Wasn't there yesterday.
He argues that Lawrence will make $155 million over the first 3 years of his contract. That is last among all recent contracts. He's arguing for Lawrence here. Far behind Jackson at $207 million, Goff at $193 million, Burrow, who I just mentioned, at $181 million, and Jones at $160 million. If you and I'm still quoting Andrew Brandt here. If you are sensing a theme, you are correct. In the key markers of how much the contract earns for a player after 1, 2, 3, or 4 years, Lawrence brings up the rear compared to his peers in all categories. So much for a record-breaking contract. End quote. Well, Andrew, that would be all compelling if Trevor Lawrence's contract wasn't guaranteed for $200 million, which is more than Goff's, and didn't come with a cap hit of $78 million in 2029. Now, even with the middle class eliminating inflation we're under right now, that's a lot of damn money. AI Andrew Bryant. Go back to racing motorcycles with Jeff Bridges and Tron, you robotic post-apocalyptic twit. I should have breathed more before that. Now, I'm not going to speculate why good old Trev Lawrence has gotten so many flowers thrown at his feet for being a below average QB for 3 years. Only I am. He must have compromising photos of Roger Goodell, the melted boob candle he is with hair, because Blake Bortles, a former Jaguars QB who is now one of the punchlines of QB futility in this league, had stats that were similar to Lawrence. Blake Bortles' first 3 years, 69 TDs, 51 interceptions. Jesus. Trevor Lawrence, first 3 years, 58 TDs, 39 interceptions. And their ratings are quite similar, as well as yardage. And Bortles has an over 30 TD season, while Lawrence has never even sniffed one. Bortles also has more playoff wins, for those of you who follow playoff wins, over actual talent. Oh, and he was sacked 23 more times his first 2 seasons. In both of his first 2 seasons. I'm not saying Bortles was good. There's a reason why he left the league 1 year after his 5th year option with the Jagbags. What I'm saying is league pundits' opinion of Lawrence can only be compared with what Jon Stewart of The Daily Show pointed out about President Biden's press conference from 2022.
22, when we saw Biden give a shout out to Representative Jackie.
Representative Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here.
Unfortunately, Jackie was dead. It's something that the president seemed to have known 6 weeks earlier when he released a condolence statement about her death.
Yes, that's her president.
Freaking believable.
Look, folks, NFL pundits like
they tried killing the wrong one.
Look, you say that. Look, folks, NFL pundits like our president still think it's 2022. Sell on Lawrence. And that's Fitz gibberish, Combs.
Whoa, what the hell just happened? I hit the wrong button. That time wasn't your internet. That one was me.
Could have been.
Yeah. No, look, we're going to talk about the AFC South, and coming out of college, I mean, you and I weren't, we didn't even know each other yet,
No.
But I was on Man Hour, and we were doing our draft analysis like we were doing every year, and I said that Trevor Lawrence was the most overhyped quarterback coming out of college I had ever seen. I watched him closely at Clemson, and I did not believe his game was going to translate into the NFL, and so far it has not. He has a huge problem with beating good defenses. And he hasn't been able to do it his entire career yet. As a matter of fact, people thought, oh, well, they went to the playoffs and they came back from a 30-point deficit. They were down by 30 because he threw 4 interceptions in that first half. And then the Chargers chargered.
And look at his last game of the season last year. What did he throw? 3 picks? Terrible picks, too. Like, I don't see why everybody thinks he's so good. It's like the Daniel Jones phenomenon all over again. I guess Daniel Jones is way worse, but still, it's like, what are they doing?
Well, let's start there then. Let's start with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's get into the AFC South, and let's start with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Key additions and departures.
They added Mac Jones, which is some insurance, and in case one bad starting quarterback doesn't pan out, you get another bad starting quarterback that's probably not going to pan out. They do get Gabe Davis from the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, they use Gabe Davis a lot, and Gabe Davis is a really good wide receiver. That's a great pickup for the Jaguars to go along with the wide receivers that they already had over there, including I'm gonna forget his name now, Calvin Ridley.
Yep.
And then they draft Brian Thomas Jr. They get Ezra Cleveland, Mitch Morse, Eric Armstead, Ronald Darby, Darnell Savage. They still have Calvin Ridley Jr. though.
Maybe this
Pretty
is not a big kid. Well, we'll look it up. We'll have the production staff look it up.
Yeah.
But I don't know about this team. How are they, make it make sense to me, Combs. How are they going to be good this year?
I don't think they're going. I don't think they're going to be good. I'm going
in the division.
I do not. I actually have this team with this schedule that they are playing, which is a brutal schedule with a lot of very good defenses, including the Browns, the Dolphins, the Texans, the Bears, the Packers, the Eagles, the Lions, the Jets, and the Colts twice because they're in their division. I don't see how this team wins any more than 7 games out of the schedule. I've got them at 7-10 this year.
7
and I got them in the basement in the division, if that tells you anything.
Jesus, that tells me a lot because I don't think the Titans are going to be good.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Even though I just did a whole Fitz gibberish on them, I mean, I still think they're a decent team. I got them at 8-9 right now. I think the Titans are going to be worse, but we'll see.
You've got them at 8-9, the Jaguars, and you think the Titans are going to be worse? Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
No, not the Titans. Sorry. Yeah, the Titans. Yeah, Tennessee Titans.
So you had the Jaguars at what?
8-9. 8-9. I had them at 8-9.
All right. I mean,
we'll see how Trevor Lawrence does this year.
I guess
that's one game worse than last year, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's one game worse than last year. I don't know that. Like I said, I mean, when you look at their schedule, they started the season off at Miami. I got that as a loss. Then they play Cleveland. I think Cleveland's going to be better. I've got that as a loss. They traveled to Buffalo, and because it's in Buffalo, I have that as a loss. They got the Texans in Houston. That's a loss. Then they play the Colts at home. I got that as their first win. They're 1-4. Then they play the Bears, but it's over in London. And then they got the Patriots 2 straight weeks over in London.
The Bears have to go to London.
I've got them losing to the Bears in London and beating the Patriots in London. And then losing to the Packers, losing to the Eagles, beating the Vikings, finding a way to beat the Lions. That's a game that the Lions should win, but they overlooked because they got the Bears the very next week and it's on Thanksgiving. So I think that could be a loss for the Lions. Losing to the Texans again, beating the Titans once. Out of
Calvin Ridley's with the Titans,
and they beat the Raiders. So that's how they get their 7 wins. I just don't see more than that. Just the schedule that they play is brutal.
Downing Thomas says we know who Combs would have selected at number 1 instead of Trevor Lawrence. I'm guessing he's talking about Justin Fields.
No, I wouldn't have taken Justin Fields at number 1. In that draft, I'm not taking Justin Fields number 1, and it looks like we've lost Fitz again. But no, in that draft class, it definitely would not have been me taking Justin Fields at number 1 at all. I would have. I'm trying to remember who I had in that draft. I believe. I'm trying to remember who was in that draft that I had. Who are the quarterbacks in that draft?
Trey Lance.
Yeah, I did not think Trey Lance was going to be good either. Was it Will Levis? I think Will Levis was in that draft, right?
No, he was in last year's. But we can go to the. I'm
going to it right now.
We can go to the Titans if you like.
Yeah. So Zach Wilson was my number 1 quarterback in that draft. Yeah, that did not go good. Justin Fields was my number 2. Trey Lance was 3. Trevor Lawrence was 4th in that draft. No, Trevor Lawrence was 5. I had him behind Mac Jones in that draft class. But it was a really bad draft class. It really was.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Fields could be the best in that draft class. It wouldn't even be saying.
He's already the best in that draft class, isn't he?
I mean, I think he was better than Trevor Lawrence last year. If you look at the numbers, Trevor Lawrence had a couple more games. And
yeah. So, yeah, no, I definitely I don't have the Jaguars doing very well this year. So let's move on to the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans, I do like Will Levis. Will Levis, to me, is a guy that can get this team over the hump. I like a lot of the things that they were able to do.
Gone. There's Calvin Ridley. There's your Calvin Ridley.
Oh, Calvin Ridley went to Tennessee. You're right.
Yep.
Not Jacksonville. So I mean, the addition of Calvin Ridley there. They also, I love the tight end Okonkwo. Tony Pollard, but it's a downgrade from King Henry. I mean, he lost King Henry, so it is a downgrade, but it's a different type of back, right? So maybe he fits Will Levis a little bit better. I don't like the fact that they went out and got Mason Rudolph to back up Will Levis. I don't understand that whatsoever, but
that could be a problem.
Yeah, and I do like their defense a little bit more this year. Their cornerbacks are nice. I like that. I like their secondary a lot. I think that the Titans can win 8 games in this division. I've got the Titans at 8-9. Their schedule is easier too. So the Titans schedule looks like they've got the Bears week 1.
I think I'm already know where I'm at, but
Bears week 1, Jets week 2, Green Bay week 3. Then they go to Miami. Then they have the bye week really early in week 5. Then they got Indy, Buffalo, Detroit, New England, the Chargers, Minnesota, Houston, Washington, Jacksonville, Cincinnati, Indy, Jacksonville, Houston. I've got them beating the Green Bay Packers.
Obviously you do.
Because it's a home game. They're not in Green Bay. I've got them beating the Packers. I've got them beating New England. I've got them beating the Chargers. I got them beating Minnesota. Got them beating Washington. I've got them beating Jacksonville twice. Wow. And I've got them winning 1 game against Houston.
I got them at 7-10.
You're at 7-10 with the Jaguars.
Yeah, I'm at 7-10. Look through their
Titans, I should say.
With the Titans, 7-10. I think they're almost definitely in the basement in this division.
Okay.
We'll see how injuries and everything else in this crazy NFL shakes up.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I will say when we're going through these things. I mean, I'm basing it off of everybody's healthy.
Everybody's healthy.
You know what I mean? That's why I have the Jets winning the AFC East, because I have to assume that they've got 17 weeks of Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, I've got Jets fans and people arguing with me about the Jets, and after I put up the division standings, and we both have the Jets winning, and I'm like, guys, you realize that Aaron Rodgers, and I say what you want, I can't stand the guy. I hate the Green Bay Packers. I hated this dude for a long time. But there are 5 quarterbacks in the history of this game that have thrown for, in one season, have thrown for 25 or more touchdowns and have thrown for 5 or less interceptions in the same season. And all 5 of them are named Aaron Rodgers. He's the only quarterback to ever done it, and he's done it 5 times. And he did it 4 times in a row from 2018 to 2021.
Best regular season quarterback ever? Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I picking them to win the Super Bowl? No, because Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback. I'll pick him to go to the AFC title game and lose.
He's kind of got a, and he's kind of, and he kind of had a, how we talked about a Tom Brady division where most of the teams suck every year.
Yes.
I mean, Minnesota's usually pretty good, but you got Detroit and the Bears every year. I would love to be in that division, but still, I mean, maybe the best regular season quarterback ever, possibly the best quarterback, just from watching the film. I mean,
I think he's a top 5 in my mind. He's a top 5 quarterback all time.
Yeah, and if he's healthy, like I don't know what people are talking about. If he's healthy, which he's been mostly healthy his whole career,
right? Until he
took one step. That Jets game, they still have the picture of him taking the flag off. So where do you want to go next, Combsy?
So let's go to the Colts next. We've got the Colts, and again, we're
Anthony Richardson.
I do like Anthony Richardson. I think he is a damn good quarterback. I think that he is going to put up numbers if he's healthy. I think he's going to have the Colts back on track. I think with their schedule that they have, I mean, their out of division schedule includes same like the other team. They're playing the Packers, they're playing the Bears, but they also get to play the the Vikings, the Bills. They get to play the Patriots, the Broncos, the Giants. So I think that this team can really go on a run here. I think that they're going to be better than what people think. And I've got this team sitting at 9-8.
Are the Bears playing the Colts? Because I hope not.
They do.
Because I hope. Oh my God, Anthony Richards is going to get hurt, and then Joe Flacco is going to throw 10 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and the Bears are going to lose with time going out.
They play week 3.
Well, that's even worse because it's earlier in the season, and the Bears.
And it's in Indy.
Great. But anyway,
the week after they play Houston.
I hate to agree with you, Combs. This is a trash division, as Jeremiah says, but I have them at 9-8. I have them at 9-8.
Okay,
well.
So you have them at 9-8 as well. So so far it looks like we're pretty much on the same page like we were before, except for the fact that you've got Tennessee in last place at 7-10, and I've got the Jaguars at in last place at 10-7. So that leaves us with the Houston Texans, who I think are winning this division, who I think are the best team in this division. I don't even think it's close. This defense is going to be absolutely insane. I love CJ Stroud. I think he's every bit what he was last year. And even if he doesn't have a progress in his second year and just stays the same, he's still the best quarterback in that division. In their schedule, even though it's tough, I think that this defense
Danielle
can do
Hunter,
it.
Adding the Bears to get him,
adding Danielle Hunter,
Stephon Diggs, even Joe Mixon, who isn't great. I mean, they gave up a 7th round pick for him next year, but he's serviceable running back. I mean, I think they got a lot better.
I think that they got a ton better as well. And again, assuming health and assuming CJ Stroud stays on the field, I really think that this team is an 11-6 football team.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with you there. I can't believe we're gonna have 2 of the same records, but I have them at 11-6, maybe even 12-5 this year. But I'm gonna, you know what, just to be against you because I hate you, and we're past the hour mark, which is usually
my 12-5 or 13-4.
It's usually my stab you in the throat mark, which is past an hour. So I'll go 12-5. Why not?
Okay. 12-5 with this team. I think that there's a way that they can get there. I can definitely see them winning 12 games. I really like this football team a lot. So I think that they're going to win a lot of games. And so I think that I love CJ Stroud, dude. What he did last year, I mean, he's phenomenal.
And look at Jeremiah. This is like the first time to put the time down. This is the first time he's agreed with me on anything. And at least 10 months.
That's true.
You have already a great QB, a marquee wide receiver. 12-13. He thinks the Colts win 5 games. But I don't know. I mean, I want to see Anthony Richardson play a whole year. It was pretty interesting to see him play 3 games, first 3 full games, and then he got the shoulder. So here is the picks.
So there we go.
Professional.
I am at 11-6, and with the Texans, you are at 12-5. We both went 9-8 with the Colts. I went 8-9 with the Titans. You went 7-10. You went 8-9 with the Jaguars, and I went 7-10. So
maybe
it's their head-to-head that decides that for us.
I don't know if this division wins this many games. Now that I'm looking at this,
I believe in. I believe in. Will, you got 2 teams under 500 and 1 team barely over 500. And the Colts last year, almost people forget the Colts almost won this division last year without Anthony. And so I just think, I think that they can do. They were a dropped pass away from winning the division. He hit him right in the hands, and he dropped the damn pass, and that's what cost him the division against the Texans in Week 17. So that's why I think that the Colts will be a little bit better than people are giving them credit for. Anthony Richardson's a very, very good quarterback. And I think that he'll be able to get them at least back to 9-8. They might even go 10-7.
The Colts? I don't know.
Yeah. It's a tough schedule. It's a tough schedule.
It is a tough schedule.
So,
but I mean, they got Latu now on the Colts. He might be their best edge rusher. Since what? Dwight Freeney, maybe?
Yeah.
Who's their best edge rusher? I don't know any other edge rushers from recent years. I mean, I would say he's probably their best edge rusher. Since then, I know he's just a rookie, but he looks like he's going to be.
Well, they had the guy that the Bears just got for some stupid reason that we all wanted, and then he was terrible. Yannick Ngakoue.
He can't see. He was running. He ran straight at a lot of quarterbacks last year, like straight at him, had him in his sights,
and then
couldn't tackle him.
Tore his ACL trying to tackle him. It was like they were ghosts, and he just like went right through them. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, they were like he was Demi Moore, and they were Patrick Swayze in the movie Ghost.
Was he trying to make clay sculptures with him, sitting behind him?
Oh man! Well, that's the AFC. Whatever.
South,
wherever it is.
I thought you froze again when you couldn't figure out what it was.
No, I just couldn't figure out. I froze. No, yeah, that's the AFC South. Oh man, that's going to be a bad division, though. I mean,
yeah, it's going to be a terrible division. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I think that they are. It's a tough. They're out of. The problem is they're out of conference. They ended up with the NFC North, which is vastly improved. They're out of division in the AFC, ends up being against the East, which is vastly improved. So it's a really tough schedule.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and some of those teams just haven't gotten a whole lot better. I don't think.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. They didn't. None of those teams really did a bunch to get better. Maybe at the most, the Colts getting Calvin Ridley, doing all that. Maybe they did enough to go out there, but I think that they are going to. I don't think anybody from this division, not even the Texans, I don't think any of them are good enough to compete for a Super Bowl this year.
No,
that Texans defense is going to be scary good.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what CJ Stroud does. If he has a sophomore slump,
yeah.
I mean, he had over 400,000 yards last season and only 5 interceptions, so I don't see that happening. But that's the only thing you say. Or he gets hurt, then that division is super bad. But we got a Bears quarterback who hasn't signed yet. Does that worry you?
So
let's scared. Are you getting itchy?
I'm not. I do like the way he handled the question when asked about it. Did you hear his answer to it?
Yeah, it's not my. I'm not involved.
Lawyers are handling it. The Bears are handling it. I'm gonna let them handle it. He hasn't not shown up. It's not like he didn't show up for OTAs or he didn't show up for practice or he's threatening to be a holdout. He makes so much in incentives that it just doesn't matter. They're gonna figure it out. I think the Bears are probably just bitching and moaning about how much they have to pay in for a rookie salary and all this other stuff. And I'm sure that they're trying to strong arm and they'll end up paying it out, but it'll get done before the season starts.
Do you believe him when he says that he doesn't know anything about it and he doesn't handle it? The lawyers handle it. I just don't believe that.
I do to a point. I do.
He seems like too sharp of a guy not to be involved in his own money.
Yeah, well, he seems like a guy that makes so much money that he doesn't care right now. You know what I mean? Like when you make so much money that you're not looking at your bank account every single day to find out what's in your account. You're not worried about it. And it'll get done, and it'll get done. They're not going to go into the season without two. Rome Odunze is not signed either.
No, and it's somewhat common to still be at this point in the year and not, your training camp hasn't started yet. Like we're not there yet. We're still, we're still at a point before the season where, they still have time and a lot of things can happen between now and then. And they all want to get it done. So it's just, hey, where do we have to be on bonus money and all that? And you're right, incentives. You still got the Bears winning 12 games? 12, 13?
It's going to be in there. We're going to do the NFC North last, but it's going to be in that 10 to 12 range.
Now you're at 10 to 12. What happened? What happened in the last month and a half? Is it the contract talks? Is it that they don't have a left tackle and your brain is finally
between 10 and 12?
I have a baseball team that can't goddamn draft a position player. And I have a football team that, can't get a left tackle. Yeah, they drafted a guy who's kind of a left tackle on a running team. Like we're fucking trying to play high school football over here.
You're scared that the Bears aren't going to win 10 games, aren't you?
No, yeah, I think they're going to win 10 or 11. I mean, I think 10's a good number, or 11, and I don't think that's a huge improvement either. I have the Bears at 16-1. And Doubting Thomas has Reek from Game of Thrones as his moniker. The guy that basement window looks scary. Storms are coming. Storms are coming.
That's not his basement. That's Nicole behind there with the internet cable.
Yeah, this is actually our trailer door.
She's cutting the internet cord right now.
It's not going to happen. We're courted next week. Ramsey Bolton, but they called him Reek. Shut up. You're not a Game of Thrones fan.
Don't yell at your sister like that.
Unbelievable.
You do not yell at my Megan TV like that. Do you understand me?
Unbelievable. Here we go.
You
watch your tongue, sir.
No, you watch your tongue when you are speaking about Megan TV.
False start. Offense. The entire offensive line.
It's your offense in gear, you freak.
I was trying to get my offense in gear, but you
go
blocked
5-2. So the Cubs go 5-2. I just want to talk about this before we end the show. The Cubs go 5-2. You think they're making the playoffs? So you're buyers.
He's crazier than a shithouse rat. No wonder you're